Hello, Snack Pack family. Welcome back to Travel Snacks. I'm Allison, Sharpe, your snacking host without snacks. I guess I'm not a snacking host. I'm just a talking host. So, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here on a fancy Friday night. Let's see who's in the house. Oh, Glenda's in the house. Tammy's in the house. Thank you again, Tammy, for getting together. It was so awesome, so wonderful. I sent you a text message later on, I think the next day or that day or something like that. So hopefully you got that. But I'm going to actually talk about your question. I knew someone was going to pick up on that where I said regular people. And here you are starting that off. So welcome, Tammy. Welcome, Therese. Hey, Grant's in the house. Grant is our moderator and friend and just an all around great, wonderful person. And he does a great job on this channel, not only just for the channel's sake, but just for me personally. I do want to recognize Grant just for being a good, supportive, and encouraging friend in my life, him and his wife, Jackie, because beyond moderating on the live streams, he takes the time to encourage me through Instagram DMs. You know, we have some nice little conversations. He's always giving me some good, like, oh, this day 3 years ago you started your live streams, or I've been your moderator for this long, or you just hit this number of subscribers. And it's not stuff that I kind of think about on my own, but he's taken the time to do that just out of the kindness of his heart. And it's very encouraging. And just, there's times just as a creator that you kind of get bummed out. And, like the other day, I was just like in my feels, and he just really encouraged me. So thank you, Grant, so much. And just thank you for all you do. And also, if there's any questions that I miss, he could usually answer the questions, and he just will be there if anyone gets crazy in the chat. Regular than irregular. Hey, Glenna and Mike from Northern Kentucky. That's a place I've never been yet. Hey, Tatiana from Florida. Hey, Jean and Marie and Warrior Woman from Boston. Pam's New Beginnings from Ohio, and Naomi from Tampa. Blissful Ventures. That's a cool name. Hey, Joy. Vibrational Frequency. Joelle and Mac. Oh, welcome, welcome. Well, are you headed to New England? I'm not. I am not, unfortunately. Sarai or Sarah? Sarah. Sorry, I'm trying to mess up that name. Sarai or Sarah? I don't know. I'm envious of full-time van life, but I'm a weekend van lifer, a weekend road warrior. I love that. There's nothing wrong with a weekend road warrior, honestly. Yes, thank you again, Grant. Cheryl from New Matt, Ohio. I never heard of that. Hey, Jack A's in the house. Long Beach. Whoop, whoop. It's not raining. Okay, that's good. Because I heard there's been a lot of rain and just weird weather in California. Blissful Ventures, first time on. Oh, welcome, everybody. Welcome, Blissful Ventures. Brand new to the live streams. So welcome to the family. Melissa Joe Fewer. You must be super organized to do this for a living. I am pretty organized. I am. I can always do better, but I'd say for the most part, I'm pretty organized. Kiwi Kel from Virginia Beach. Welcome, welcome. Top dogs in the house. Tracy, hey, how are you? Hot Soakers. That's a curious name. Do you go to like hot springs and just chill? Because that sounds, well, I guess you wouldn't be chilling, you'd be warming. But that sounds actually really nice right now to just be like, well, kind of, because honestly, I'm in Texas and it's hot. It's like, well, it's 71 degrees here today. It was up to like 74, and that's wonderful and beautiful. But in my van, it's kind of like, I don't know, a little sweaty, like not as like insulated, I should say, or not insulated. What my brain is broken. It's not like there's not like a lot of airflow going through. But anyways, I have found you and recently started binge watching. Ooh, I love it. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Susan, welcome, welcome. If you guys are seeing the little star icons next to people's names, those are our super snackers, our Munch Bunch memberships. So if you feel like becoming a member, and I'm slowly starting to add more behind the scenes content. for as little as $2 a month. That sounded so cheesy. Don't ever do that again. But no, I'm just kidding. You can join the memberships if you feel like it. You would just hit the little $ under the chat, and then you can be one of the members. So that's what those little icons mean. And you can also use custom emojis as well. A Priority Focused Life is brand new to our Munch Bunch memberships. Anne in Georgia, welcome, welcome. And Giselle, how come your lives don't appear on your video feed unless I'm looking in the wrong place? Let me see. Hopefully I don't. Let me see something. I'm just checking my channel real quick. Okay, so I guess YouTube changed this. So if you go to my channel, there at the top, you'll see, what does it say? Hold on, I just lost it. It'll say home, videos, shorts, live, playlists, community, membership, store. So YouTube separated videos from live streams recently. So that's why it's not in your, like in the main video feed, but you can still see all the lives in one tab. Clint from East Texas. Jackie had a tornado in Montebello. Montebello had a tornado? That's wild. What's happening here? Hold on, I gotta fix my setup. I literally have this set up like on my little clothes hamper with a blanket under it. So, whoa. It's a little crooked. A lot going on here. Hey, Lee, snow coming in Bozeman, Montana will never end. Oh my goodness. Kenny from Sulphur Springs, Texas. Awesome. I passed through Sulphur Springs on my way here to Dallas. Oh, you Top Dogs in Virginia Beach. Awesome. Okay, Hot Soaker says, I sure do. Chilling at the hot springs for sure. Oh, that sounds so nice. That's something that I have on so many of my travel lists, is to do like more hot springs. And to date, I still haven't done any. I don't know why. I think every time I go to do it, I'm just like, do I really want to, like, put on my bathing suit and hike back somewhere and do the thing and all things? It's probably totally worth it, but sometimes I'm lazy. Warrior Woman, like you, I started as a car camper, but I just got a van a week ago. I'm so excited. Ooh, that is very exciting. Let's see, on the coast of Washington State. Awesome. It got up to 83 yesterday, 77 today. Nice weather. Yes. Cat from sunny Tucson. Awesome. Lee says, will there be snacks today? There won't be snacks today, just water. And make sure you're drinking your water. As it's starting to heat up, we don't want to get dehydrated. Jackie, an F1 tornado. Oh, goodness. Hey, Denise from Southern New Hampshire. Awesome. Creative Tater. How cute. 83 Southeast Georgia. Holy. Therese. Hey, Therese. Oh, Bill coming through with a happy Friday. Love the Au Naturel hair color. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. I'm really loving my new old brown hair now. Listen, I only did this, like the last week in February, and my little gray sparklers are already coming out. So it's a little concerning because, like, years ago when I would dye my own brown hair, I could get away with dyeing it like every couple months. Now I'm older. And you know what? I'm going to have to like root touch-ups more often. So that's not exciting. But it is exciting is that super chat from Bill. So thank you, Bill. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. Hey, the dirty knobs. Welcome. Glenda, friends and family, remember, hit thumbs up. Yes, hit the thumbs up if you're in here. Thank you, Dirty Knobs. Hey, Rebecca, how are you? I am having a safe trip. Yes, so let's jump into like the topic and what's happening. Thank you, Therese. Thank you. I'll take that. I'll take all the compliments I can get. So if you were here where was I already here? Where the heck was I last Sunday? Could somebody remind me? Grant I'm like, what am I doing? Where was I last Friday? Was I here already? It's all a blur. When I start traveling like multiple hours per day and I'm in different time zones and stuff, I forget like what day I'm on. So I can't remember if I was already you were at I was at my friend's place. What friend? I'm losing it. Bro, I'm literally that was the last live stream at my friend Melinda's house in Georgia. I think you're right. Holy crap. The one with the yes, okay, with the dog. Oh my goodness gracious. Dang, that's crazy. That seems like 400 years ago. All right. That was the last one when the light was shining on us and I had to move the light. That's crazy. Um Hey Praveen, how are you? Just joined about 5 minutes ago. Yes, thank you, thank you. Okay, well, either way, well, let me see what Grant says. I was near North Atlanta. Okay, all right, yeah. I'm pretty sure you guys are right. Like I must have still been in Atlanta. All right, well, listen, I'm not in Atlanta anymore. I have moved on. I was in Atlanta, and then just decided that I really need to start moving back west, just because, I'm a little homesick for some of my family and friends. I also really need to go to the doctor. I think it's because I made that video explaining this, and so maybe I'm getting confused with that. Okay, so North Atlanta. Tupelo was in my video, but I think the live stream probably was in Georgia. No, you were in your van. Your friend was 2 weeks ago. Okay. I don't know where I was last Friday. But anyways, that's kind of besides the point. The point is that I made it to Dallas, Texas. So I am at my son's house in Dallas, Texas. I'm not in his house. Clearly, I'm in my van. I've been staying in my van and just like visiting. So I got here on let's see. I got here on Tuesday morning, I believe. And I've just been like kind of hanging out with him and his girlfriend and just like being in my van and then going into his apartment and just hanging out and stuff like that. So it's been really nice to just like I was driving like a lot of hours per day. So it was really nice to get here and just kind of like chill. I was really just going to stop in, take them out to dinner and then keep going. But they were like, we want you to stay through the weekend. And I was like, oh, I feel like, you know, happy that you guys want me to stick around. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay until Sunday, I believe. And then I'll probably hit the road in the afternoon. I was going to like I wanted to try a different route back to California. I wanted to go like the more northern route, so it would be like Amarillo, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. But I just looked at the weather this morning, and Flagstaff is set to get snow, I believe, on this upcoming Tuesday. And I heard that the roads are not only like lots of potholes, like legitimately damaging people's tires, but also that when it snows, those roads are getting really icy and causing crashes. I've never been to Flagstaff or Albuquerque, so that's why I kind of wanted to go through there just to like experience something different, a different road. But I'm not prepared to be driving through that kind of situation with snow and ice, and you know, I don't want to. It's not like worth it to me just to see something new if I'm going to be like nervous about driving on the roads. So I think I'm just going to take my old tried and true, like through Abilene, and like I think it goes through like Tucson or Phoenix, or I don't know, like Midland, Texas. So, anyways, that's what I'm going to be doing. Um, so, hey Jane, they're called senior moments. They start near the. Listen, I'm almost 50, so I definitely understand that. Pam's New Beginnings. Yes, I was in my van though, but I just don't remember where I was. Maybe it'll hit me. Should van life be illegal? Where was I when I was doing that? I don't even know what parking lot I was at. I think I might have still been in Georgia though. Like, I think I was in Georgia. I'm almost positive I was in Georgia, and then I left Georgia on Sunday or Monday. No, it must have been Sunday. I left Georgia. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's all coming clear a little bit. So I was in Georgia. I just don't know where I was filming that. So, anyways, I've driven like a lot this week, and I got all the way to Texas. Let's see. Jackie, I have gone that route. It follows Route 66. Yes, the Dirty Knobs. I was in Flagstaff at the end of February. 7 inches of snow. They don't salt them and they just close them down. Oh, so see, that's another thing. Is like, if I go that direction and it's shut down, then that's a real bad bummer. Hey Daniel, how are you? The I-40 is rough. Okay. Rebecca says it, then I'm listening because Rebecca has good common sense. Tatiana, will you be doing more adventure info videos soon? What type of adventure info? What do you look like? What would you love to see? Wait, you tell me. I look forward to watching your videos with my morning coffee. Some of your videos just make me laugh so hard. I enjoy starting my days off the way. Oh, awesome. But yeah, if there's any specific things that you guys like or want to see, I can't make any promises, but it helps me to like gauge, like what, like I asked you guys a few months ago and I got a lot of good responses. Like the top response was like, most people are like living vicariously through my travels, but then a lot of people are like, I don't really care what you do. I just like your personality, which made me feel nice. And so I have a lot of things in my mind that I'm going to start doing on this channel. So hopefully you love it. So yeah, Appalachian Annie's. Happy Friday, y'all. Glad to see you, pretty mommy. Thank you. I hope your back starts feeling better. Thank you so much. Go to Flag for the overlanding show. Oh, when is it? When is it? If you've seen one parking lot, you've seen them all. No truer statement, Grant. No truer statement. You were north of Atlanta. Yes. So I must have been like in the Norcross. You know where I think I was? I'm pretty sure I was in Snellville because I stayed at that Cracker Barrel a few times. So I'm pretty sure that's where I was. Now that's all coming back to me. Let's see. Hey, out for fun 123 from Idaho. Happy Friday. Welcome. 7 feet of snow. Oh my goodness gracious. Warrior woman, please do more advice videos for the newbies. Okay, well that's good to know because that's kind of what I'm planning. I'm going to start doing a lot of content about like different questions that people ask and just like with my own flair and personality. So good to know. Jane says you're about 30 miles, maybe 30 of north of Atlanta. Yes. So I think I was in Snellville. I can just might be able to meet you in Abilene. Ooh. Okay. Glenda, send me a DM on Instagram if you have Instagram or on Facebook. I don't usually go on Facebook that much, so if you have Instagram, that's better. But send me a message, as I'm passing through Abilene, maybe we can meet up. We've got some bad weather tonight. Please stay safe. Oh my gosh. Brenda, welcome. Lee says, I like when you look for a place to park. Yes. I love making those videos, and based on the views, people love watching those videos. And I've gotten a lot of comments saying people like the adventure of watching me find parking. So I personally like doing it. So that's actually not a problem. And I'm going to continue doing more parking videos, like day in the life and then getting to the parking, because it's real life. It's like what actually is happening. Hey, Crystal, welcome. Daniel, 100 plus in the house. Please hit the like. Oh, thank you. Yes, hit the like if you're here. Hey, Sue from Australia, just back from a big road trip. Thanks for your useful. Oh, awesome. Yes, I am heading back to California. Yes. Hey, Tina's the Outsiders in the house. Welcome. Overlanding show is May 19th through the 21st. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Okay, cool, Glenda. I'll check that. Hey, Jake, how are you? Art Dog, I definitely like the parking videos. Okay, awesome. Brenda says we are getting 50 miles per hour winds from Noodles. Oh my goodness. Charlotte, do you think parking in a big city or suburb is better? I would definitely say suburbs if you can find suburb parking, because the city, it's a lot of hustle and bustle. I made that video about parking in Memphis. Uh, I got the most comments from people saying Memphis is not safe. Like the most comments of like unsafety I've ever gotten on probably any of my videos. I didn't feel like majorly unsafe, but then again, I was only there for one night and I pulled up and left the next day. So that was it. So everybody was so concerned, which it was super nice to see. Like everyone was so concerned about my safety. So I would say the big city, like it comes with a lot more like risks, maybe of people being, out in the streets and stuff like that. More crime usually in the big city. So if you can go in the suburbs, it's probably like you'll have an easier time, I'd say. Personally, I would rather be in the suburbs. I don't usually go downtown, but for that particular night, there was a lot going on in terms of like where to park, and I just found that on iOverlander, and then I just parked there, and it worked out fine for me. But as a rule of thumb, I don't usually park in this big city, but it's not impossible. Therese, I love following you wherever you go, wherever you park, and how forgetful you may be at times. All right. Well, that's good because I am kind of forgetful. Hey, Lori from Massachusetts. All right, Jake. I miss of seeing, hey, Glenda, I miss of seeing highlights. Okay. Area 151. How much did your conversion cost? Honestly, now I forgot. I did make a video on it. It's a few years ago. I think it was like $9,000. I think my dad and I did it ourselves. So with all the materials and stuff, but my dad has a lot of tools already, so I didn't include tools. He already had those, but I think it was around $9,000 if I can remember correctly. Hey, Mountain Wanderer, welcome, welcome. I was in Memphis in 2002. No scares. It was nice. Oh, awesome. Hey, Christy from California. Awesome. Susan, I've been to Memphis so many times. My heart was beating so fast while you were trying to park. I had so many comments like that. Skip Chicago shootings and carjackings. Oh, yeah. Yes. Now, Chicago, I personally don't even want to go in my van because I've heard so many like negative, scary things about just like, carjackings that I'm just like, I just don't know. I don't want to try that. All right. So let me read these last couple comments and then we're going to talk about the topic. Lori says, I'm living in my van life by Carrie S through you since I don't have a vehicle. Oh, vicariously. Okay. At this time. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Island girl. Hey, seen a PT for your back. I have been to physical therapy. I think it was the year before last for my lower back, but that's whatever's happened to me now is happening in my spine and my ribs and my shoulder blade. And it's a weird phenomenon. So I'll be going back to my doctor just to like start the process of figuring out whatever's happening. Do you think wearing a good back brace to help support you as you're driving would help improve the pain? Don't forget CBD oils benefits from the aromatherapy relief. The funny thing is, I don't usually have the back pain during the day or driving. It's only when I like lay down at night and when I'm like resting or sleeping. For some reason, I don't know if I have a pinched nerve. Like I don't know what's happening, but it's usually just only at night. Yeah, I got you vicariously. The pain has actually been better than it was before. So it is going down, but it's still there and it's been there since like December. So that's not ideal. The Dirty Knobs. I am 18 miles west of Chicago, a safe neighborhood if you want to drive with it. Oh, awesome. Jackie, I've been to Chicago many times and have driven there, no problem, and stayed on the south side. Dang. Both my ex-husbands are from Chicago, so I've been to Chicago, not when I lived in a vehicle. And there is definitely safe parts of Chicago. Like I'm not downing Chicago in general, but since I'm not from there, I don't know about just driving through and like trying to figure out parking on a whim. If I ever do go there, I would definitely contact probably some, family members that I know of on that side of the family. So yeah, it could be a compression issue. I would probably agree with that. All right. So let's talk about, so uh, Tammy kind of picked up on this, and I'm sure a lot of you picked up on this. So I titled this live stream, "What Do Regular People Think About Van Lifers?" And I was on, I think, Reddit the other day, and I was noticing that somebody had posted a question about, like, when do you, like, if you're dating, when do you tell somebody that you live in a vehicle, live in a van? And, you know, like, in my mind, I was like, I think that's something that you should tell somebody pretty soon, pretty like right off, because even for me, like, if I was dating, if I went on a first date, I would want somebody to share that with me, because I need to make an informed decision. Do I want to date another van life person? Do I want to date somebody that lives in a vehicle full time? Because, that's a whole subsection of life where, if you're living in a vehicle, my thoughts might be like, I'm going to do this for, one more year. But the other person might be like, I'm going to do this forever. I want to do this for 5 years. So I think when you are dating, like when you're going for dating, I think you should tell your potential possible partner that you live in a vehicle sooner than later. Now, I will say a slight little note on that for women. I guess it goes for both too, but I'm a woman, so I can just speak for myself. For me, I am a little bit slightly more cautious in terms of telling somebody right away, because if we're on a date and I'm in my van, when I leave that date, I'm going to be in my van leaving. And, it's just like a cautious thing. Like, is that person going to like follow me? And I guess that could be the same thing for you driving back to your apartment. So, it's just life. You got to get a feel for people and just do the best you can. But after I read that post and I read a bunch of comments, I was thinking, and I've heard this from a lot of people in the comments from videos that I've made or whatever in the past, is just there's a lot of different thought processes on people that do van life. And there's different categories. There's people that live in vehicles because they don't have a choice. They've either lost their apartment for whatever reason or had to give up their apartment, or basically, in essence, they are homeless. So they, instead of living in a tent or on the street, they have a vehicle. So they live in that vehicle, but they don't have a lot of other options. So they're not doing it by choice. People that choose to live in vehicles for, whether it's to save money, whether it's to travel inexpensively, whether it's just for the adventure of it, whether it's to just get away from people, get out in nature, that's a whole nother section of people that are choosing the lifestyle. And the more people that continually choose this lifestyle, there's a lot of different things that come with that. More people trying to park in different places, different subsets of people that are doing it as like, weekend, or like with their friends partying and, doing like maybe more like spring break vibes where you're just going out drinking and throwing bottles on the ground and stuff like that. But then you got people that do this for like full time, and they're just kind of keep to themselves, but they're just doing it for adventure. So it's interesting to me because I think everybody has their own opinion of the way that your lens sees people that live in vehicles. And I think and the reason I say regular people, I attribute that to like non-nomadic people, because the perception is if you live in a vehicle, you're not normal. You're weird, or you're running away from life's problems, or you've given up on life, or you're dirty or gross or homeless. And I think there's very many different possibilities of the way people think about other people. I believe, honestly, because I keep it real, I think that there is every version of that in vehicle dwelling. I think there's absolutely people that have given up on life, whether it's like they're just had it with other people, they've had bad life circumstances. I think there's people that are just sick of people. I think there's people that just want to live life to their fullest. There's so many different things. So I'd say maybe the average person that lives a traditional lifestyle goes to work, goes home, lives a traditional lifestyle. I think a big population of those people, a big section of those people consider other vehicle dwellers to just all be homeless. But like it's all in one pot. If you live in a vehicle, you live a homeless lifestyle. You don't have options. You're dirty and you're gross and stay away from my neighborhood and I don't want anything to do with it. Then you have people that have heard of van life as a choice and so they're more accepting of it. And so they are like, yeah, that's cool. Do you? It doesn't matter. But just, they're all for it. And then you have people that know about van life, but they're fine with people doing it, but they don't want van life people in their neighborhood or cities because they feel like they're going to ruin things or like take up resources or whatever. And then you have people that are like, totally love van life that'll never do it, or totally love vehicle dwelling, never do it, which is a lot of people that watch van life content. I think there's lots of people that love to, like you guys were saying, live vicariously through van life or see different things without having to live the lifestyle because it can be stressful. So there's lots of different things, but I want to have like an engaging conversation because I'd love to hear what the snack pack thinks. Because we're a family here and I'm very curious, and please feel free to be honest. No one should be like, scared to say whatever, as long as it's not mean spirited. And as long as it's, like, this is my opinion, there's nothing wrong with sharing an opinion. And I've said it many times. I think we should listen to each other more deeply in life because I think you can learn something from every person, whether you agree or don't. But I would love to hear your thoughts, whether it's your own thoughts or what you think other people think of vehicle dwelling. Because personally, I think a lot of people look down on vehicle dwelling, and even people that say, "Oh, that's so cool." I think sometimes people will say like, "That's so cool" in your face, but then be like, "But yeah, I don't want people in my neighborhood." And that's their prerogative. But I just think it's interesting. So let me stop talking for a little bit and read some of the comments because I saw a lot of comments coming through. And, just let's get into a bit of a conversation about this because I'm just interested in different thoughts on this and how the perception is because I'm currently living in a vehicle full time. So I have my own perception of it. I'm kind of looking outward, but I also am a person that's viewing it from like my lens of seeing other people doing it. And whenever I eventually stop van life, I will, be in a different lens of like, how do I view it now? Like if I'm living a more traditional lifestyle. So it's just a curious thought in my mind. All right, let's see. Hey, Leah Van Son. Greetings from a regular woman from the Netherlands. Oh, I've been to the Netherlands. It's beautiful. I loved it. Hey, Nomadic Rat Pack. I am new here. Welcome. Everybody, welcome, Nomadic Rat Pack. Awesome. What do they think of van lifers? Is there still a hippie stigma attached to it? See, that's another thing I didn't even think about. That is a really good point because back in, I don't know when, what, 50s, 60s, 70s, I don't know, the era where people were living like van life. I know van life's been around for a long time. People were living in VW bugs and like buses and, different types of vans. But, over time, you'd see kind of like the hippie movement where the bandana and the paisley shirts or whatever. And they'd just be like, yo, man, just like out here living my free lifestyle with barefoot and like the ripped jeans or the bell bottoms. This is what I have in my mind. So maybe if you're like an older person, maybe you just have that mentality, like people that live in vans, smell like patchouli and wear sandals or they're barefoot and they just have no cares in the world. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's a really good point. Hey, Beyond Comfort Travel Adventures, right away. Let's see. Hey, Daniel says, welcome. Let's see. I want a van girlfriend, says Blandrew Mac. That's interesting. Like, I wouldn't mind like dating somebody that was also in van life, but we'd have to be on the same page in terms of like traveling together, and then, you know, figuring out other forms of travel or other options in our life, because my life is not all like my life identity is not a van lifer. I There's more things I want to do in my life past van life. So I would definitely want somebody that just has an adventurous like way about them, but doesn't want to do van life for the rest of their life. Um, let's see. We have RVs, but we recently purchased a 2008 Chevy Express 20 passenger to convert into a van life castle. Oh, that's awesome. I love my Chevy Express, but I didn't have a 20 passenger. So that's awesome. Clint says, I believe most people like the idea of van life, but are afraid. They are used to daily structure, and the idea of the unknown scares them. That is an excellent point. So I'd say if somebody likes the idea of van life and it's just like more like almost like a fairy tale, like they see some of the people that are showing all these like gorgeous beautiful sights and they want to do it for that reason, I would say don't do it, because that's not all the time. But if they're not doing it only because they're afraid, then I'd say do it. I'd say fully do it. Put yourself out there and challenge yourself out of your comfort zone, because nothing good happens from wasting your life away sitting in your home doing nothing for the rest of your life. I think a lot of people get really in a rut and then eventually look up and is like, I didn't do anything with my life, and they have regrets. So I'd say even if it's on a small scale, I'd say do the hard thing, do the thing that scares you, because you can do it. But if it's like you just are trying to escape reality for like a fantasy, don't do it for those reasons, because it's not going to turn out very well. Hey Valerie, per your title, we are normal, rather they like it or not. How long can society ignore out of control housing costs? Factuals. So Valerie, I'm glad you brought this up, because the people that look at van life as like those people living in vans or vehicles, blah blah blah, like they're just like dirty and gross and just like too free spirited. A lot of times there's kind of a middle ground too, right? Where there's like people that are legitimately homeless and probably have very few options to get out of that vehicle. Then there's people over here that choose van life and they maybe have a job and they have money set aside. So like when they're done with van life, they can move on and do whatever else they want. And I think there's people in the middle that have kind of like like they're just realizing, like you said, that housing costs, rent costs, they're so high. And every year the rents are increasing, and interest rates are increasing, and all these things are increasing, and you get to this point where you're like, I'm really just like scraping by. And so you might be in a position where you kind of slightly have to do van life, but you will really need to like save your money so that you can get into something else until maybe things start leveling out. um, and anybody can end up in that position. Anybody can end at that position, even the most, maybe not the most wealthiest, but maybe even the most wealthiest person. A series of bad, unfortunate events could happen, and they could be in a bad spot. Any, most people can have a tragedy, whether it's with their family or their health or with their job, and literally not be able to afford what you have right now. Dwindles real quick, and you might end up in that situation. And then the empathy and the grace comes, because then you realize, oh, I was so ugly and mean spirited to people living in vehicles, but now I'm in this position. And then then it, like, the blinders come off and you're like, oh, people are just out here trying to save money and survive. And I think that's a really good point, is society shouldn't be ignoring that this is a lifestyle, whether it's temporary or kind of more permanent. And and also the older you get, which I'm going to talk about this in the future, the older you get, a lot of times you have less options. Like there's such a thing as for real thing as like people not hiring people as they get older, and so you really have like less options. And then Social Security, if it's even available when you get to a certain age, it's probably not a lot. So There's very real situations happening. Hey, Fire, how are you? Tammy Bowler, I am jealous of those that are van lifers. You're living out my dreams. Go with God. Awesome, awesome. You can do it if you want to do it too. Kenny says, how is the bed liner holding up? The bed liner's paint on my van is holding up super awesome. No problems so far. No problems. So it's been a great, great thing. Hey, Snow Panther, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome, welcome. Appalachian Annie's van lifers are very cool, adventurous people. I think they are courageous and unique. I don't think about it being a financial lifestyle, but more as an independent living lifestyle. It's a good point as well. I think there's definitely van lifers that are, I think most van life people are adventurous. I'd say that's kind of a prerequisite, unless you're like, just like, I need to get out of my apartment or whatever, save money. And you might be a person that just likes to hover around your city and you don't want to venture out, and that's okay too. But yeah, I think it is a very independent type lifestyle. Glenda says, I think I would enjoy going full-time in my camper, but keep my base homeland. I think that's an excellent choice. And it's something that I want to talk about more on my channel, about anyone that's thinking about going into vehicle dwelling. It's a cautionary tale on my end because, well, kind of. I did have a little money saved up when I started, just a little bit. And I think it's important to have a little bit of planning. I think this is not scientific, but just from what I've seen living this lifestyle, I think there's a 3 to 5 year point when you're doing vehicle dwelling where you realize, I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of like, I need something else. Whether you get to the point where you're like, I need a break, or you're just like, I do not want to do this anymore. And I think it's important when you first start out, you don't have to have all the ducks in a row, but I think anyone that's just going to maybe think about this lifestyle, to have an exit strategy, have an exit plan, to where you're like, okay, when I hit that point, what am I doing with myself? Am I getting an apartment? Am I buying a house? Am I staying with friends? What am I doing? Because if you don't save up a little bit, or you don't have a little plan, when you get to that point where you're burnt out, it's harder to think straight because you're already burnt out and you're like, I can't even think straight. So definitely, if you can keep your base home or land and do it, golden, then you're ahead of the game. Pam's New Beginnings. Well, I'm not weird or homeless. Well, there you go. Awesome. That's awesome. Let's see. Beyond comfort travel adventures. The good thing about living in a vehicle while on a date is that you can drive away from that person, and you don't have a stationary or regular place that they can follow you back. Also a solid point. If I was on a bad date, like legitimately bad, like you go there and, the person is just like rude, or they just show who they are, I would probably be like, oh, excuse me, I got to the bathroom. And I would just dip out, and then I would just jump in my van and I drive away and look out my rear view mirror just the whole way and just like go somewhere far. Like, that's what I would do. But you're right. If you're in a regular place and they follow you, I mean, that's where you live. So that's it. Let's see. But yeah, people assume. Yeah. Snow Panther. Yes, this channel has come a long way. Awesome. Yes. Hey, Rains of Healing. How are you? Snow Panther, you were the first subscriber and now there's 70K. Wow. Awesome. Let's see. Zeus Leo 1. You said that's me. That's what is you? Hey, Thomas from Northern New York State. Valerie says, people have given up because they don't have a support system. Valerie, you're speaking my language. We don't discipline people anymore. Our government gives billions overseas and our churches give millions, but we are ignored. Listen, Valerie, you're on my same thought process. I have my own strong opinions. Yes, I agree with that. I think we've gone off the deep end. We don't talk to each other anymore as people. we don't tell the truth to each other. We can't. We like there's this like I was thinking about this in the past couple days. I think about stuff a lot when I drive, but I think I have a theory. I think there's a million things that's causing like a lot of the like unhappiness in the society, especially in America. But I think one of the things that's causing a huge amount of depression and anxiety and giving up in life is the policing of language or the policing of speech. Like you see it on especially on like people that have content channels like YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, anything. So I might have an opinion about something and I say it, even if I say it in a nice way, and somebody will be like, "Well, I don't agree with that," and then they hit report, or I guess block is fine because that's on you. That's your, you can watch whatever you want. But when somebody hits report because they don't like what they heard, that's not a reportable thing. Just because you don't agree with somebody, you don't report that. Or, you might say a word or a phrase or say your thoughts, and people are like, you can't say that anymore. You can't talk like that. That's this a phobe. That's that a phobe. You're whatever this. Like, there's a lot of policing, and people don't feel free to be able to just share their thoughts and opinions. Now, I'm not co-signing anybody to be ugly and mean and vile and like spewing off their opinions in an ugly way. I don't agree with that. But I think there should be given a lot more runway for people to be able to speak their opinions, their experiences. We all live our lives with our everyday experience. No one can take away the things I've been through, the things I've seen, the things I've heard, the people I've been around, the way I was raised. That's how I was shaped, just as that's how you were shaped. Everyone was shaped mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally in different ways. So you can't take that away from somebody. You can try to beat it out of them with your verbalness, with your like aggression or mean spirited comments, but you can't take it away. So I think that's the reason why people feel beat down and sad, is because you just feel like, oh, forget it. I'm not even going to talk anymore, because when you try to just convey your message or your thoughts, it's like immediately like cancel, block, leave me alone. And instead, it's better to just listen to somebody and be like, I don't really agree with that, or I'll think about it, or whatever, you know? And so when people don't have a support system because they've been cut off from that, I see why people run away from life, or even just want to get away, even not even just running away, but just like, I just don't even want it anymore. Um, and then I'm not even going to get into the whole government part because that's not that kind of channel, but I have my thoughts on that as well. And also don't get me on the churches too, because I think churches have like lost their purpose in a lot of ways. Clint says most van lifers are houseless, not homeless. Their van is their home. Exactly. So this is my little tiny home apartment. In my mind, I think this is a little apartment. It's like, if you guys have ever seen people that live in New York and have showed their like, 100 square foot place that's like only big enough for having a bed and a sink or whatever, or a toilet possibly. I just think of it the same way, as if I rented something in New York, it's like, but mine's on wheels. So, you know, we have our own little houses, and most people that live in the nomad lifestyle take care of themselves. I will be honest and say that I have come across some nomads that I feel that they have kind of given up mentally, like given up on themselves, given up on their hygiene, given up on, trying to, better themselves, trying to, maybe make some extra money so that they can do more things with their life. And I say, like, I understand, sometimes it's life can get hard. It can get tiring, but everybody has their own experiences, like I said. Oh, Praveen, thank you so much for the $1.99. This is my very first super chat on your stream. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's give you, okay, an explosion and a party. Thank you, Praveen. I appreciate that. And also, I just got a message. Oh, Tammy. Tammy's coming through with the $30 donation. Also, oh yeah, last time I was on this live stream, I was saying that I was going to meet up with Tammy, and I did. I was able to meet up with Tammy in real life, in person. It was a blessed meeting. It was like so heartwarming. Like it felt so nice to meet such a supporter of travel snacks and just such a good-hearted person. So thank you, Tammy. Thank you so much for meeting up, for just being so generous, being so kind, being a friend to just talk to. It was just really nice. So thank you. And thank you for the donation and just all the support. Thank you, Tammy. Tammy's just been like such a great, like wonderful part of the snack pack. Let's see. I lost my place. I'm loving all these comments and thoughts. I really enjoy reading and hearing about other people's ideas. Sarai, I hope I'm saying your name right. Sarai Lee. I think it's resourceful. Even if someone is down on their luck, thank goodness they have something. So many homeless people without shelter in this country right now. Who are we really to judge? I agree. I think it is resourceful. That's something I love to say, is use the resources you have. We in America especially have so many resources. And if you have a vehicle, I mean, a lot of people don't have vehicles, if you really think about it. It's resourceful. Listen, if you can be scrappy and you can set up your vehicle and have the things you need, I think that's amazing. I think that's strong and amazing. And like you said, some people don't even have a shelter. So I'd say let people do what they need to do to get by. Adam says, to heck with what people think. I mean, I guess that's true as well. I actually I agree with that in a sense, but also I think it's valuable to hear what other people think, unless they're just being like an ugly person. Creative Tater, I think more people are jealous of people that can travel and live in a van, RV, etc. That's an interesting thought. Like, I think there are people that maybe are stuck in situations that, they know they're probably not going to be able to live like a more adventurous lifestyle, and they probably could get jealous. I never thought of that aspect. Susan, my family is pretty supportive. I'm only part-time right now. However, I have several friends who are like, what? I think, yeah, that's great. Like, if you have some supportive people in your life, that's really a big deal. Like all my family and friends are pretty supportive. But they're supportive of everything that I do, I'd say. I mean, not everything, because there's been times I've made some really dumb choices or decisions. But I think the friends that are like, what? As long as they're doing it because they're having like a true concern, then I think that's okay as well. Hey, Lou, how are you? Beyond Comfort Travel Adventures. Who really cares what other people think of your choice to live these lifestyles? They don't have to walk in your shoes, pay your bills, or live your life. I mean, that's true. That's a good point too. Like, at the end of the day, people's comments, whatever, is not going to pay your bills. Like you said, you got to wake up with yourself. You got to go to bed with yourself. You got to, walk, in your own shoes all the live long day. So I appreciate people's opinions, thoughts, ideas, suggestions. But at the end of the day, I have to, just as we all do, we all have to make our own path, walk our own steps, Hey, Kim, I told my daughter I'm going to do van life so I could follow her around when she goes off to college to keep my eye on her. She threatened me with a protection order. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. That's funny, though. The difference between want to and have to do van life is where the confusion lies. Yes, I think you're right. Is it Nej 83? Is that for Jen 83? Hey girl, cheers from upstate South Carolina. My teen has 2 years left of high school. When she's off to college, I want to start my van life journey. I think van lifers live the best lives. I love it 100%. Awesome. That's funny, because that's exactly what happened to me. Is like, well, I didn't think about van life, but I was thinking, like, once my sons, graduated and then they were on their own, moved out on their own, that's when I would start doing more really serious traveling, and that's exactly what happened. So it's good that you're thinking about this now, and slowly start making an outline for what you want it to look like, so that when that day comes, when you're like, okay, like I've taken care of my kids or my daughter or whatever, and I've done my responsibilities, you can hit the road. You can hit the ground running. Two different groups of people. Yes. Let's see. Pam's and beginnings. Okay. I wish more van life people lived closer to Ohio so I could have a place to meet up with other people. I'm trying to get started and something hard to get it. Wait, and OTS hard to got started. My van's older, but it's ready to go. Oh, awesome. Yeah, it is. I think it is better if you can link up with other people. I think that's definitely a better way to go. I mean, there's something to be said for like times alone for sure. But I think if you can make more connections along the road, that's awesome. Let's see. I just got a message here. Oh, Herbert Walker sent $5 for live stream donation. Thank you so much. Let's give a shout out. Oh, thank you so much, Herbert. I appreciate the super chat or the live stream donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. Glenda, people in general do think it is odd. I say that because I get those responses and reactions when I'm living in my camper part-time. Yeah, I think it's interesting because I am like I can't prove it for sure, but I think people think it's cool until they really think it through and they're like, you live in there around full time? Like, I don't know. I can't prove that, but I don't know. Hey, Mimi. If they only knew how hotels and motels are cleaned, yucky. I use a van to travel because I clean it. That is a solid point. Solid point. Because some of them hotels, kind of gross. Creative Tater. We lived in our RV for 2 years and traveled. We stayed south and bought a house. I miss it. Oh, I mean, listen, if you do live in a vehicle and you have a job still, save as much dang on money as you can. I'm not even kidding you. If I could leave this live stream with one thing that I put onto your hearts, minds, whatever, if you do this lifestyle and you're still bringing in income, set as much money aside. This is the best time in your life to do it because you have very little expenses. You spend money on gas, but you control that. You don't have to go all the places. You can stay somewhere longer. Cook in your van or your car as best you can. Don't eat out a lot. Everything else, try to sock it away because when you're done with the lifestyle, and if you've saved like fat cash, you will have a lot of opportunities and you will feel so good. And there's not very many people that can say that they had the opportunity to live rent-free, mortgage-free for however many time, like years or whatever. And you did that for yourself. And that is an amazing, wonderful accomplishment that you can say that you did. And you almost feel like you didn't do van life just for the like whimsical adventure. You did it because you set yourself up for your future. So think that through. Hey, Julie, I'm a normal person wanting to live this lifestyle. Awesome. And you can do it. Nomadic Rat Pack. We will be at a minimum part-time nomads by the end of summer 2023. We are selling a home in Oregon and trying to purchase a home based in Arizona so we can travel a bunch. That's awesome. That's a great plan. Thomas says, what's wrong with hippies? I don't see anything wrong with hippies. Charlotte, van life people are survivalists. That is true. I agree with that. I mean, I may not be like out there, starting fire with a stick, but living in a vehicle, you do have to figure out ways to survive. I don't mean that like, I don't want to make it like, I'm out here living on a desert island by myself, but I'm saying like you got to really think about things and survive. Let's see. Rebecca O'Grady. While I think van life seems cool, I would be scared to have a strange vehicle near my house. We have had a lot more crime, everything from house break-ins to porch pirates. Rebecca, that is a great point, and I actually agree with you. Let me put a little side note on that. So if I lived in a regular home and I saw, like, how do I say this with like, I don't know, because I'm trying to like make a fair assessment of how I would really feel. Like, because I've lived in houses before. But let's see. I think it really depends on the neighborhood, to be honest, because I've personally parked in a lot of residential neighborhoods when I lived in my car, and then also when I live in my van. I've stayed in a lot of residential areas. But when I do that, I really take time to drive around and not park in front of someone's driveway or park really close to people's houses if I can. I usually try to park where there's like where a fence ends and you really can't see the van, or you park next to a hedge or whatever. But when you live stationary and you say you drive home from work and you see a strange van in your neighborhood and you kind of know all your neighbors or neighborhoods, I could see how that could be startling. But also, if you're in a neighborhood where you don't really know your neighbors, you don't know if that person has visitors. That's just they have a friend that has a van that they've just parked. Um, so, like for example, on the street that my parents live on, they have a very uh ruralish kind of street, so there's not very many houses. So if somebody parked on my parents' street, like by their house, it would be like, what is that person doing? Because there's not a lot of activity by where they live. So I think it really depends on the neighborhood. So I agree with that. Like I agree that don't like if you're living in a vehicle, you have to think about people, trying to protect themselves in their house because it could be a person that's not even living in a van that just has a van and is scoping out somebody's place or scoping out somebody for various reasons. So I think there's a responsibility on the part of the vehicle dweller. But I also think there's got to be some grace for non-vehicle dwellers to realize that there are people that live differently than them. So I think there's kind of a mix that needs to happen for all of us to get along, if that makes sense. Oh, thank you, Grant, for posting that. Yes, if you would like to make a donation, there's the links. Grant posted them. Cheryl says, I love watching those of you who live van life. Very intriguing, but not for me, only because I don't want to look for parking all the time. I do not understand why anyone by choice would live in a car. I think that's, yeah. Fair, totally fair, because it gets tiring at times. And like I said before, there's different types of nomads. Some people like live on, you know, like in the desert or forest where they stay longer. But if you're like more of a road trip traveler, yeah, it is harder to find parking and it can be very exhausting. So I totally get that. Sarai, in a world that constantly forces commercialism down our throats, what a way to take the focus off of materialism. Yes, I see that there's so much commercialism and we all could like really do with like a lot less. Let's see, Denise, I love your description of us old hippies. Bethany, well, I think it sounds cool, but let me view it through my mother-in-law's attitude. If I was a nomad, she'd think I'm being cheap and evading any kind of accountability to life. Interesting. So the part about being cheap, I don't think there's a problem with being cheap. I've always kind of been a frugal person, just in general. Just that's just the kind of person I am. Like easily, it just comes easily to me. So I don't see a problem with being cheap, unless you're being so cheap that you're like chintzy, like where you're just like I don't know, like it's excessive. But evading kind of accountability to life, I actually kind of agree with that. I think there are people that kind of skip out on responsibilities or accountabilities if you have that, in your life. And I think we all need to take responsibility for our own lives. So yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Hey Shayna, I don't care why a person is living in their vehicles as long as they don't trash the area and are respectful of the area they're staying in. I'm cool with it. Awesome. Yes, I agree with that. Like people can, as long as you're respectful, that's great. Jane says, I support van life and it should be legal. I love watching the videos, but it's not for me. Fair point. Thomas says, if you had a nomadic significant other, would you travel in one rig or caravan? If I'm like in today's very moment right now, if I met somebody today or tomorrow, we'd have to have two rigs because my van is for one. Like there's no more room in here. There's just not. But if we were like going to stay together and do it, I think I would want to get an RV with somebody so that we can travel together and be in the same spot because I would like to be with my partner. Let's see. Hey, Terry's Tenacious, how are you? Hey, Joy, how are you? Zeus Leah 1. Hard to walk away from a 32-year job as much as I fantasize about it. I mean, that's fair because you put in a lot of time and work into that. So I understand that. Reigns of Healing. I love van lifers and car dwellers, and I really hope they abide by leave no trace rules. Yes, as I want to. Also, been struggling with a place to live, health issues for a few years. Not everyone's a bum. Facts. Yeah, not everybody's a bum. There's a lot of great people out in this world. And the no trace rules is very important. Leave no trace means wherever you go, leave it the way it was and actually leave it better than when you got there. The people that are, littering and, leaving a situation worse, it's not cool at all. Kentucky woman, hey, I am now a caregiver for my mother and preparing for when I will be free to travel. My daughter is supportive of my van life dream. She's going to stay with my mother so I can get away this summer. Oh, that's awesome. I love when families tag team, especially if there's responsibilities with family health issues. I've heard that from several people that I know where they're like, okay, my sister's going to take care of my mom or my dad, and then I'm going to come back. I think that's the best way to go about it so that one person's not with full responsibility. That's a family working together. I love to hear it. RV on the move. Hey, planning to retire early and travel for years in a van. Studying options for power and comfort while being as stealth as possible. Have always had wanderlust in my blood. Looking forward to adventure. Good for you. I'm excited for your journey. Island Girl. Not only hippies, but TV movies and big screen movies always portray van as kidnappers, drug dealers, getting high, etc. Because of that, I never park next to a van or cars that have windows all blacked out. That is a very solid point. And I think that's like, I'm not even kidding. Like, there's been probably at least I could count on my hand like 5 times where I've been in my van. People can't see in because my windows are super dark where I have my window covers up, but I'll have my window a little like cracked and people will walk by and they'll be like, oh, but there's a pedophile in that van. Or like I was parked one day and I was at a Cracker Barrel and there was a big truck that parked next to me to go in and grab their food. And I heard these 2 guys, they're like, I wonder what's happening in that van. I bet it's some old dude just, doing something, like hanky panky, or actually maybe have a kidnapped kid in there. Like I could hear them outside of my window talking. And I wanted to peek out and just be like, I'm just like a regular woman just traveling. But I didn't want to do that. But yeah, like it's always been portrayed as like kidnappers, like the person that's like, here's some candy, little girl, So there's a stigma for sure. Praveen, very true about how life can suddenly change in an instant. Yes. Jacques, I'm waiting on my Transit Connect. No manufacturer date yet for Ford. Oh, dang. Nomadic Rat Pack. There are people that give nomadic life a bad name. It's sad but true, but most are incredible people with incredible morals. Yes, that's my experience too. Tammy Bowler, how do you start van life? Do you do a camping into the week long and extend it over time or just jump in full feet? I personally think that if you're interested in vehicle dwelling, that you should dip your toe into the water, do as much as you can, do like a long weekend or even overnight somewhere, like far, like in a city, like 30 minutes away. And as you get a little more comfortable with it, if possible, then add a little more time. Because there will be challenges. So I say, give yourself the grace and the time to do it. Tatiana, for me, it's stressful having to find a place to sleep, always being worried about the knock, where I'm going to spend a day. If I'm there too long, hoping no one notices me, it's stressful. That's been my experience too. There's times where it's not as stressful, but yeah, you're always kind of thinking like, am I being a burden on society? Like, am I parked here too long? Is someone going to say something? You're always like looking out for signs and like, should I park here? Should I not? Like, what's the rules, So it can be very, very stressing. Sarai, Valerie agreed, but where I live, city code doesn't permit you to rent out your driveway. It needs to be addressed at even a higher level. Agreed. According access to affordable housing is a crisis. Yes. Kathleen, hey, I think you are such a beautiful and smart young woman. What you are saying is the God's truth. I pray God's favor on you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Rains of healing. Also, housing costs have doubled and tripled where I live, combined with the cost of living, massive inflation. There are many who aren't able to afford sticks and bricks. I'm one of them, apparently. Yes. Listen, when I was out east looking for places to possibly rent or buy or whatever, I was like, what? So many things in the past that I felt like I could probably go into. I was like, you're out of your mind. Some of these prices are crazy. Vibrational frequency. Joelle here. We're here in Dallas. Would love to meet up while you're here. Oh my goodness. Send me a message. I'll see, because I'm only going to be here for a couple days and I'm spending a lot of time with my son and his girlfriend right now. So if we can, maybe, but just send me a message. Jane says, now that I think about it, if I didn't live in senior housing that is income based, I would seriously consider van life. I'm a saver and would be able to afford a recent used van to live in. Yes. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone has to do what they can, but it is a great way to save money, I will say. Valerie, okay, you guys are talking. That's good. Cheryl says, you are right about Social Security. So make your own retirement while you're young, because when you get older, who knows? Yes. Clint says, trust me, anything can happen. I was forced into retirement because of health issues. I own a house and was able to be homeless, drained my life savings in just a few years. I'm serious. I've heard a lot of people that have had circumstances like that, like because of one thing that happened in their life, and they're like, it all went downhill, So you got to do what you can to, like, kind of cushion yourself as best you can. Daniel, keep your home and rent it so you'll have an income. I agree with that. Praveen, I'm seriously thinking of living in my RV, then buy an apartment and pay 2,000 a month in rent. Oh, then buy an apartment. Yes. I mean, if you have an RV and you're able to, listen, I really do think that if you have a way to save money, you should, to set yourself up for a better future. Um, let's see, lost my place. Valerie says, would love to get a van life group together in Nashville. Ooh, that'd be fun. Rains of healing. A few car accidents is all it takes, and medical bills, and it's then hard to pay rent or mortgage. The third leading cause, or is it the first, of bankruptcy is medical bills. Oh my gosh, that's true. Anything can happen medically at any time, and it can cause really disastrous financial problems. Hey, Susan, I've lived in my 2005 Mazda 6S for 2 years. Then I lived in a house for 1 year, and I'll be moving back into hopefully a high top van in the next month or two. I'm 64, working again as a school bus driver. Okay, awesome. I personally love the hybrid lifestyles. I think that's a great way to go. I really do. I in my firsthand experience, I realized that I can't do van life forever. Like, I need a hybrid lifestyle, because you like you get lonely, you get, you just, I don't know, you just get to a point where you're like, I need a little bit of normalcy, like a little bit of structure. Because I don't want to call it like normalcy, because we all have different things, but a little structure is nothing wrong with that. I fully believe in living a moderate lifestyle, nothing too extreme on either end. So I love that. RV on the move, looking at life lease at SKB Park in Arizona to have a home base for when I want to sit still for a bit. Oh, awesome. And yes, rents are still rising, Terry. Hey, Shane, been 4 years on my MPV, still no plans for brick and mortar, but a log cabin. Yes, please. Ooh, that sounds nice. When I say like brick and mortar or sticks and bricks, I consider that like just like you're saying, it could be a cabin, it could be apartment, it could be a house, just like not a movable situation. Greedy landlords. Yes. Sharon White. Hey, just checking in to say hey, and I'm keeping you. Thank you so much. Thank you for popping in. Bye, Nomadic Rat Pack. Thank you for being here. Praveen, rents are definitely rising and out of control, but unfortunately, wages aren't keeping up. So true. Jackie, people that live in their vehicles sometimes don't take care of their health. There is a service to assist them called Nomad Health. I haven't looked into that, but I should. And that is very true. I think I've had a lot of health issues since I've been in my van and in my car too. I don't think it's like because I was in my van, but partially because it is a hard lifestyle on your body. So people need to really be careful about their health, especially like especially if you're driving a lot, like blood clots in your legs and stuff like that. Like you should like definitely get out and walk, and that's a whole nother topic. But yes. Pro masters are an excellent choice to live in. Yeah, pro masters are nice. They have a lot of space to move around. Hey Mimi, how are you? Sunshine in California. Finally, love you too, Mimi. Terry's, are you thinking of settling down? Yeah, I'm definitely going to be out of my van for the summer because it's just too hot in my van. I would love a hybrid lifestyle. I love to travel. I have that like nomadic spirit in me, but I have kind of hit a wall where I feel like I need to kind of get off the road for a little bit and have a little like non looking for parking every night situation. Uh, but I don't see myself just like settling down, living in a spot for the next 30 years. I don't see that for myself either. Rains of healing. The future of the economy is extremely bad. Honestly, it would become much more common for people to not be housed in a sticks and bricks. Dreamed 7 years ago, people living in RVs and cars, disasters. Yeah, I think it's coming. The academy brainwashing. People have to agree to disagree with freaking out. Yes, without freaking out. Yes. Oh, I lost my place. Ah. Terry says, I miss California sunshine. Diane, hey, silent sub from New York. Saw you on Tim's channel. Curious about traveling right now, but have noticed some people living in cars, vans here on Long Island. Interesting. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Any friend of Tim's is a friend of mine. Yeah, let that curiosity, just dip into your curiosity and give it a try. You never know. Still working on my van and few health issues. Oh, I definitely get that. Okay, I have learned a lot from watching van lifers. It's just different. It doesn't mean that you are crazy or weird. It is their choice. Yes. Yes. Daniel, they're trying to make people really turn into walking zombies. I mean, that's really true. Terry's life is hard and tired in home dwellings. Life is hard and tiring in home dwellings too. Yes. Oh, Stacy coming through with the super chat. Ooh, sending strength, courage, and hugs from Tulsa. Thank you for what you do. Thank you so much, Stacy. I appreciate that so much. Let me give you a shout out. Let's give you. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate the super chat very much. Thank you. M. Sanabria, I have to work out my fear of being alone out there. You know what? There's so much I want to say about that, but like I want to not be on here for 100 years, but I want to say that, oh man, what do I say about this? I think there's something to be said for being alone. I think I'm just going to speak for myself is that I really think that you as a person, or I'll speak up for myself, I believe in full dependence on God. I really believe that there's something to be said for getting to a place in your life where you're like, I'm alone and my only dependence is on God. I know everyone's beliefs are different, but I'm going to speak for myself. But when you say like working on my fear of being alone, I think it's good to have that peace of mind that it's okay if you are alone. But I really, truly, and honestly believe that you shouldn't try to live life alone all the time. I really think that it's very important to make connections, even and especially when you're on the road. You don't have to travel with somebody every day, but I think you should meet up with people, have lunches, have coffees. If you have an opportunity to meet up with somebody and, just do it, because no one should be like, whenever I say nobody, then I get people saying, oh, you shouldn't say that. I love being alone. Like people are living out in, like out in the cabin in the middle of the woods. And I love it. I get it. People like to be alone, but I still just don't think that people are meant to be alone their whole lives. I really think we're creatures that need to be with other people at times. Like we're meant for connections. So I understand about working out your fear of being alone, but you don't have to be alone all the time. Like try to still make friends and stuff like that. Hey, Daya, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Hey, Lewis, first time here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome. Everybody welcome Lewis. Retired 2019. I'm 60 and retired and live in an apartment. I don't care what people think about it. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Allison Newman, I think you are awesome and very helpful with your videos. I really look forward to seeing your videos. Thank you so much. Oh my God, look at that cutest puppy little icon. Thomas, nomads are solving America's housing crisis. Yes, I think being a nomad is very resourceful. Terry's tenacious. I'm always jealous, but in a good way. Good, good, good. Allison Newman, I really want to do van life. I'm going to, but I have no support from my family. I say, if it's something you want to do and you've taken care of all your life's responsibilities and as an adult, and you don't have support of your family, if they're not paying your bills, I mean, you need to do what you need to do. I would say still try to keep solid connections with your family, and just hopefully, just be like, I respectfully understand that you don't agree, but I need to do this for my life. That's my opinion. Rain's feeling, if you ever come to New York, I'm sure many of us would love to meet up with you. If I had a nice house, you'd be more than welcome to crash van break with me. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do love New York. I hope to get back there again. Hey, Linda, how are you? Praveen, it was definitely a very beautiful sunny day today. Oh, awesome. Beep, 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 drink water alarm. Yes, 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 yes. Hey, Angel Wings, how are you? Bye, Crystal. Thank you for being here. Blessings to you as well. Hey, good luck, Astrovan travelers here. Hey, hey, hey. Nej, you are one of the rare ones who realize my username is Jen spelled backwards. Will I ever come back? Will we ever come back to South Carolina and visit the upstate area? I mean, I love to travel a lot of places, so yeah, I would love to. I would love to. Hey, Bethany, in your setup, can you sleep stretched out or do you have to curl up? I can sleep stretched out if I put my head like basically touching this window right here, and my feet kind of touch that window because I'm 5'7" and my van is just about 5'7", so I can actually lay just straight, but I still kind of curl up just because of the way I like to sleep. Let's see. Oh, Susan, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Let me give you a thank you, Susan. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate it. Praveen, I live in a big house with my parents, but I'm considering living in an RV due to the drama in my household, but there's a lot of pros and cons to doing so. Yes, there's always pros and cons to everything. You got to weigh them out and just make a choice. And if it's the wrong choice, you can try something new. A Wegmans pizza is too expensive, ridiculous. I've never had Wegmans pizza. Let's see. You can park in a residential area adjacent to a house, but right outside their bedroom or front door, I think it isn't really appropriate. Definitely not. If you live in a vehicle and you're parking in a residential, do everything you can to not park as close to a person's house as possible. Like literally, don't park there if you have to park right in there. No, don't do it. Don't do it. That's not fair. That's too intrusive, in my opinion. I don't think anybody should be parking that close to somebody's house. If you have to do that, you need to find another spot, unless you're just like so tired that you're going to pass out and like crash. But I think there's lots of places to park. Really, I think there are. I think you should always try to be as far away from someone's driveway or window or front porch or whatever as possible. Hey, Alpha Introvert, new to your channel. I do live in my car. Find it extremely hard to live car life on the East Coast. Have you been out west, or do you agree? Welcome to the channel, first of all. Second of all, I've heard people say, it's funny because I've heard people say it's so hard to do vehicle life on the East Coast, and some people say it's so hard to live on the West Coast. I have had successes and challenges in both areas. I guess I look at it as like, I'm going to figure it out. Like, I will figure out a place to park. I will, like, no matter what. And at the end of the day, I've never had to do this, but if I had to, I have a little money stashed aside for a hotel. If I just really couldn't, I'll just get a hotel room. But I feel like if I'm going to get a hotel room, I'll just park in that hotel parking lot and just go to sleep. But I think when you have a mindset that like things are solvable, you can figure it out, you can do it. And a little planning goes a long way. You don't have to sit out there and plan a year's worth of plans, but I think a little planning goes a long way. Let's see. One more day. Let's see. I totally agree. Oh, awesome. R&D Studios. Hey, how are you? Glenda says, honestly, I think it is very hard to have a valid opinion of what we would or wouldn't do if we were full-time van lifers. Yeah, I mean, it's like everyone, if you don't live a certain lifestyle, it could be hard to like know what it's really like. So, I don't know, but I still appreciate people's opinions. Oh, Kim coming through with a super chat. Thank you so much. Let's see. Let's give. Um, ooh, thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. Island Girl, since your destination is SoCal, if you're passing near Long Beach, let's have lunch at Yard House at Shoreline Village. My treat. Awesome. I love Yard House. I don't know if I'm going to be going all the way to Long Beach, but like, yeah, on these live streams, I kind of like let people know where I'm kind of at. So, one more day. I'm in debt forever because of medical bills. I can't catch up because there's always a new bill. Oh my goodness. I hope that something happens to where that debt can be chipped down or wiped out. That's my prayer for you. R&D Studios. I'm in East Tennessee, and it's a great place for car life and van life. Oh, awesome. Prayer of protection, Psalm 91. Yes. I'm going to read these last comments, and then we're going to start to wrap it up for the night. But I love this conversation, and I love all of the thoughts and ideas. Yeah, I love to hear how people kind of view van life. Zuslia, I have a head start with 2 town and countries if I do find myself ready to force. Ooh, good. Michelle, I live in a converted small bus, and yes, I have to, can't afford rent, but it is difficult to be sure. Things are breaking, and it's difficult to get them fixed. Yes, that's another thing is, when you have a vehicle, it's just like a lot of things will break, things break. So just do the best you can, one day at a time, sometimes 1 hour at a time. But you can make it. It'll work out. Sharon says, I enjoy it. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that. Mimi says, a tiny house could be your next adventure. I love the tiny house life too. Yes. I always say, like, if I'm going to pay for something, it's probably not going to be a tiny house unless it has its separate bedroom. But you never know. Like, I'm open to it, but I think I'd rather like buy a house a little further out so I have space that's at least 1 bedroom separate from the living space. But I've seen some of those tiny houses where they do have separate bedrooms, so it's possible. I wouldn't like totally 100% cancel that idea. Calvin says, I'm just tuning in and I'm glad you slept peaceful in Memphis across from the historic motel. Think you will ever make it to Michigan? I hope so. I would love to go to Michigan. Pam's New Beginnings, Nomad Man, get a hold of me when you come this way. Okay. One more day. I'm moving to a small apartment in May. I'm so excited. Only taking bare minimum. Easy care, simple. Awesome. Hey, Rose, how are you? What is hybrid living? Hybrid living to me, just my definition is where you live in a vehicle some point, like sometimes, and then you have a place to get off the road, like you have a piece of land, or you have a little apartment or a tiny home, or whatever, something that where you can, like, I guess it's kind of similar to snowbirds, like a snowbird where you have something of your own, so you can have like a traditional lifestyle. You don't have to always be in your vehicle, but then you do have something else to where you can live in a hybrid situation where you can take off when you want to, or you can stay put if you want to. Allison Newman, I don't want to go, but I have to go take the dogs for a walk. I love your channel. I think you're awesome. I hope you have a wonderful night, sweetie. Thank you so much. God bless you as well. One more day. I'm investing. Hold on, I gotta drink my water. I'm investing in a van just in case I need a place. You never know these days. That's a smart plan. That is a smart plan. Bye, Praveen. Thank you so much for being here. Heather Hendrickson Jackson. I have been planning on this lifestyle for years, but haven't had the opportunity. Unfortunately, the opportunity has come. My mother passed last week. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. And we need to clear out the house and sell it. Oh my gosh. Everyone prayers for Heather, because that is like such a hard thing to go through. And, man, I really feel for you on that. Um, all you can do is take it one day at a time, just one moment at a time. Rose says, I love being alone with God, but we need each other now. A healthy fear can keep you safe, but fearful is no way to live. 100%. You said it better than I did. Um, we do need each other. We really do. I don't like the perpetual lie, or I don't know if it's a lie, but like there's this narrative of like introvert, I just like to be away from people. Like there's this constant push to like be very self-serving and self-focused, and we need each other. Like we need to care for each other and be there for each other. And there's so many wonderful things that memories that you can make with other people. Let's see. Yes, definitely. Thank you guys for all the nice messages for Heather. Um, Love matters. Start van life part-time. It's best for newbies and for your family members who may be skeptical. Yes, I agree with that. My back is doing pretty good. It's feeling a little bit better, honestly. I'm still having the pains at night, but not as bad as it was. And I am on my way back west. I probably will be back to California, I don't know, around the first week in April, I'd say. I don't know. Oh, vibrational frequency coming through with a super chat with the balloons. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Awesome. First super chat from vibrational frequency. Ooh, awesome. Let's see. I'm gonna give you a yodel. I love that one. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Alpha introvert. I just returned to Pennsylvania from a year between New Mexico and Arizona. A year. Going to try the East Coast this year. Pennsylvania is home base, but I prefer the desert. Ooh, awesome. Susan says, that's me, a hybrid. Love it. Oh, and I love, Susan, that you use the custom emojis for members. I love that. Thank you. Oh, also, we haven't featured, hold on. Sugar, unless it's Snoopy. We haven't featured, well, that's unfortunate. My hair got caught on the little Velcro down here. We haven't featured Sugar Crystal Candy Corn in a while, and Snoopy. So everyone say hi. These are the two van mascots. The van Scots. I've been here. So thank you for using those emojis. Yes, more prayers for Heather for sure. Yes, definitely. All the prayers for Heather, because that is a very hard thing to go through. Glenda, I am always praying for you, Allison. You are one of the sweetest, honest, and Jesus-loving person. You stand up for the Lord, and He will direct our paths like you have to live on total faith. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate all those nice messages. All the messages. Just so you guys know, whenever I receive messages like that, or comments on my videos, or comments just like nice, loving, kind messages, it really helps me, because I do get a lot of. I don't want to say this, like, I've gotten more negative comments. Like, I think as the channel grows, I'm getting more like trolley type people, and people that are like mean spirited. And it really does affect me as a person, because I don't try to internalize it, but when you hear something over and over and over, it really can bring you down. So messages like this, anytime I get like a nice, loving message, or like prayers, it really does help lift my spirits. So I appreciate that very much. Very, very much. Thank you, vibrational frequency. Thank you so much. Hi, Snoopy, says Daniel. We are never too old for plushies, stuffed animals. Yes. Kim says, thank you so much for your Bible study info a couple weeks ago. I was so looking for that recently. Oh, awesome. I want to bring in more like Bible stuff, but I know that not everybody is into that. So I may do a second channel in the future. I don't know. Don't hold me to that, because I do want to share that kind of stuff, but I got to figure out a better way to do it so I could do more of it. But I'm glad you enjoyed that. Pastor Steph, hey, I used to live my life worried, not worried what others think, but then I turned 60. Now I have a no build. Wait, what? Now I have a no build in my SUV, and I'm hitting the road this weekend. Who knows? Maybe I'll become a content creator. Ooh, I love it. I love that. I hope you do. Yeah, I think the older you get, the less you're like, you know what? Take me or leave me. I am who I am. That's kind of, the whole thing. Yes, thank you for all the prayers for Heather. Yes. Speaking life over people, there's so much negativity out there. Yes, That is exactly right. I think, and I try to do that for other channels too. When I see like, negative comments, I try to like balance it out by putting like a nice message on people's channels. Um, because it can get really rough to like see so much ugliness. Um, hey Chase Rideout, how are you? Hey Rev Donna. From California, a California native, now in Arkansas. I know from experience it's hard to not let trolls hurt you. While still pastoring before retirement, I was hurt and shocked to experience such. Oh my gosh, so you definitely understand. Chase Rideout, just got my Toyota Sienna 2011 a few weeks ago, but my mom got sick, so my plans got delayed for a couple months. And that's okay. Sometimes stuff like that happens. And, just roll with it, and then eventually you'll have the time to be able to like venture out. Love Matters. Yeah, a new channel called Bible Snacks. It's so funny that you said that because I told that to my son and he's like, uh, I don't think it translates the same. He's like, you don't have to put snacks on the end of everything. I'm like, but snacks. But he makes a good point. But I think it's still cute. Rose says, if you aren't using the other channel for product reviews, maybe you could use it for the Bible study. I might. Right now, I need to get situated, for the summer. So right now, uh, it has to be on the back burner. But yeah, when I get a little more settled, I think I might do something like that. Maybe start another channel for those who enjoyed your Bible study. Yes, definitely. Tatiana, blessing and cursing is in the tongue. There is so much power in our words. So let's choose life. Yes, I love that. Oh my God, love matters. That sounds awesome. Bye, Terry's Tenacious. Thank you so much. Don't worry about the haters. We love you. I love your dad and how handy and helpful he is too. More projects with him. You never know. My dad and I, we like to do all kinds of things. So yeah, you never know. But thank you. Thank you so much. John 3:16 is all people need. Amen to that. Amen to that. Well, you guys have been fabulous as usual. I appreciate all the love, support, the like lovingness and prayers for each other, the Snack Pack family. I appreciate your generosity. Um, I really appreciate this channel and all of you, really all of you. And I love you all so dearly. I pray for you guys. And if you're feeling down or you feel alone or you feel like, if stuff is in your head that's just like, oh, I'm not worth anything, like, let's just take that thought and throw it away. And just know that you are valuable. You may not feel like it all the time, but that's because there's a lot of negativity in this world. But just know that there are pockets of people that are awesome, that are wonderful, that have a lot of good things to say and to share. And put your mind and focus on those channels, those things, those content, or whatever you want to call it. Any person that's uplifting, surround yourself with those people. And just also be loving to other people, and that helps a lot. So I appreciate you guys kindly so much. Thank you for being here and sharing your Friday with me. It's been awesome. Let me read these last few comments and then we are out of here. I'm gonna go up and spend some time with my son. Bible snacks, I like it. Oh, good night, Rains of Healing. God bless you. God bless you, Rose. Bye, Susan. Thank you for using the emojis. I love that. Daniel, good night. Chase, Hot Tiger, hey. Oh, you just got here. Welcome. Glad you popped in. God bless you all big time. Yes, Rose. Resistant Gordy. Is it Gordy? Thank you. Barbara, good night. Love Matters. Kim and Tatiana ties the channels together and it won't be deeply studied. Quick bites, yes. Thank you, Pastor Steph. Tatiana, may the Lord bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you. God bless you. Thank you so much. Peace, love, and blessings to everyone. Good night, Cameron and Joni. God bless you guys so much. Have a great evening. And there's a new video coming out tomorrow about parking. And yeah, so I will talk to you guys soon. And I love you and have a great evening. Bye. Bye for now. Bye, Grant.